Hi again. Looks like I ran out of battery, so please bear with me as this is rather disjointed. Had to charge that battery. Trying to think where I left off. I was talking about the Kirin Goshima over here, the Korean wax bells, more Lenten rose, a dwindling little bleeding heart. I don't think they are very long-lived perennials, but they give me that chartreuse color in the spring. I'm gonna have to buy a couple new ones. My Lenten roses here are enormous. They must just love this dappled light and the soil for some reason. They just get enormous. My two lace cap hydrangeas that I think I said before do very well here. I'm happy with them. Doubt that I'll get any blooms this year because of our extremely cold winter and late freeze. My oak leaf hydrangeas in the back, they look pretty nasty right now, but I've got to say they look very nice in the fall. Moving over here, this was another area where I had those terrible aggressive Japanese anemone. Yanked those out, just planted some hostas for a temporary placement until I get a inspiration and an idea of what I would like here. This begins a little bit more of a sunny spot for me, so I could do something that requires a bit more sun. Here's a mistake that I did. I think it's a mistake. I read somewhere that you could mow down your Pachysandra if it was getting out of control. Well, I did last fall, and to me it looks kind of like I killed it. It should be thick and lush right now, but I don't know. We shall see. I can't even stand the thought of buying all new Pachysandra. That was here when we moved in. I did not plant that, but look how it's growing nicely where I did not mow underneath the oak leaf hydrangea. It's doing really well there, but where I mowed it, maybe it'll come back, you know, in June. We shall see, but may have been one of my many mistakes. You learn as you go, but I pretty much just, I'll do anything, and if it doesn't work, oh well, try something else. You can't be too afraid if you're gonna have fun with gardening. My little sweet woodruff on one side of the walk and my creeping Jenny on the other side. Used to have a ligularia here. I had one in the back and I forgot to talk about it. I got tired of it. The slugs loved it. So just planted another June hosta for the time being until I get inspired for something else. This is now the kind of the street side of my garden. I planted 3 Bobo hydrangeas. I had 3 All Summer Beauty Mac hydrangeas here, which I was told and read that they would bloom profusely. They did not. I had gorgeous foliage, but nothing else. I had 1 or 2 pink blooms per bush. They took up a lot of real estate and it wasn't worth it to me. So these are only 2 years old, but they did nicely last year, and each year I think they'll be better. So I'm pretty happy with the 3 Bobos. In between here, this is a Roxanne or Roseanne geranium, which is a beautiful ground cover. Again, it just came up in the spring, but it's covered with purple flowers. That does really well for me. I've got my viburnum, which is nice and tall. I have 3, a little dark here, but 3 guacamole hostas, which take up a lot of real estate, which is what I like to kind of fill in this bed. One of my favorite things, kind of pricey, is the Japanese forest grass, Hakone. I think I'm saying it correctly. On either side of the walk, if you get it before the rabbits eat it down in the spring, I spray a deterrent. It is gorgeous later on. It's this huge lime green sweeping grass, which is lovely, but boy, if you forget to spray, the rabbits will eat it down to a nub. Along my fence here, that's not doing anything yet next to my Japanese tree here are more quick-fire hydrangeas. Not impressive right now as you look at it, but they do beautifully. So highly recommend quick-fire hydrangeas. Here's the length of my yard coming back. Shot's not too good, but it's nice and private. And so I'm moving along here on my little ranch house. Let's see. I think this is kind of pretty. I don't even remember planting the ajuga, but the purple ajuga coming up in the creeping Jenny is so pretty to me in the spring. They kind of go away, and they're not very aggressive to me. Again, a lot of people don't like creeping Jenny, but it gives me that bright green color that I like. I'm trying to get more of a ground cover here with my Roxanne or Roseanne geranium. I think they really would be happier with more sun, but I can only give them what I have. So two rather happy oak leaf hydrangeas. They look quite beautiful in the fall, and the foliage turns a real pretty red for me, so I like my hydrangeas quite a bit. I have a lot of them. And then I just have a patch of more hydrangeas here. I'm sorry, hostas. The large ones, the two large ones, are Southern Substance. They get enormous. They will fill in that whole spot there. They just popped up a couple weeks ago. And this is another problem area for me. This was my last stand of more aggressive Japanese anemone. I'm digging them out and hitting them with Roundup. Sorry for those of you who don't use Roundup, but I painted on the leaves with a sponge brush, and I think that's a-okay ecologically. I really do. And then I have a little spirea going on here. It has some pretty color. It's nice and leafy and airy, and it's a little bit, again, different texture. So thank you for watching my little garden. It's always a challenge of shade and what do you do, and I suggest to people, don't fight it, just go with it. Try to get your foliage in different colors and different textures. Got a little container here, begonias and elephant ear. I don't know the proper name of that, but I think with chartreuse ground covers and different color hostas and ferns, some variegated foliage, I do think that you can create a pleasing garden. It may not be everybody else's choice, but it's what I have, and it's what I have to work with. So good gardening, you all. Write me any questions if you want. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.